Hello, Leo the Lion. Here's your weekly horoscope for February 28th to March 6th. Well, last week may not have been the best, and the week before may not have been the best, because this dogged Saturn-Uranus square was probably not very pleasant to Leo in the last couple of weeks. And as well, we had Venus squaring Mars there in that period too, and that seemed to indicate a lot of trouble for a lot of people. Almost everyone I spoke to had somebody or someone in their life that was going through some crisis, and perhaps even you. Well, this week should be a little bit better. There's some movement away from those negative aspects, and as well, we're going to be taking on some more positive aspects this week, certainly hopefully positive for you. So first of all, let's talk about Chiron and Aries. In your horoscope, that does put Chiron in the ninth house of higher philosophy and religion, travel as well. And Chiron is called the wounded healer of the zodiac, or the maverick of the zodiac, and it does sometimes point out our woundedness, either past woundedness or present woundedness, and sometimes the wounds that it brings us are to bring our attention to deeper situations that the pain is just an indicator of. Similar to cancer, I use this analogy in that a sore throat can be bothersome and it's a pain, but the sore throat may actually be an indicator that you're getting a cold or a flu or, God forbid, COVID. So don't worry so much about the pain, but remember that that pain that you may be enduring is a symptom of a deeper issue that you need to get fixed or attend to. Now, this week we do have Mercury conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius, and normally that's a pretty good aspect all around for most signs. Anytime Mercury and Jupiter get together, nearly any sign in this conjunction, it brings about what we usually call luck, good luck, or opportunities. Jupiter is the major benefic of the zodiac, and Mercury is the planet of trade and commerce, so that's why it often has a relationship to money and finances. But sometimes, and especially for your sign, Leo, you go a little overboard sometimes. And with Mercury conjunct Jupiter in the sign opposite to you, it does have a twofold effect, and one or either or both may occur. On the one hand, money might come your way. Now that money might be in a different form. For example, not someone just handing you cash, but more that you get a raise at work or a bonus or an entirely new job or increased work hours. Now these things are certainly all possible for any sign because a lot of people lost their job due to COVID or lost a lot of working hours or lost investments. So the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction in one way can be an ability or time for you to recoup some of these losses. That's the good news part of it. As well, you're a very generous sign at times, and it could be that you are feeling very generous these days, and that's wonderful. But there is a tendency to go a little overboard with Jupiter, so do be careful that you don't get a little too generous this week, either with yourself or other people. There's a tendency sometimes with Mercury-Jupiter to think that we have more money than we actually do, or we think, well, I'll just use my credit card because sure, I'll pay off it, the whole amount at the end of the month, and then something else comes up we didn't expect, and then now we're paying interest on a credit card. Or if we spend our grocery money on something else and then something comes up, what do you do for groceries? So it's that kind of a scenario to be aware of. My suggestion here is do not spend any money you do not have in your hand or in your bank account. Having said that, the Mercury-Jupiter conjunction can be an aspect of you acquiring a loan, a mortgage, or even money coming back to you that you had loaned to somebody. So it's not necessarily all bad, but it's a very unpredictable aspect on an individual basis. And this is what is called mundane astrology I'm doing, i.e. I'm not looking at your unique horoscope. So I don't want to steer you wrong in any way. I have to speak in a more general sense. So again, remember, money might come your way, but just because I said so or someone else said so, don't believe it till it's in your hand or in your bank account. As well, remember what I said. It's okay to make large purchases. For example, if the refrigerator broke down, you got to buy a new one. Well, they cost a lot of money, but try to make sure you have the money to spend before you do so. Or, hey, you might want that $3,000 fridge, but if you can only afford a $1,000 one, then maybe you should spend only $1,000 on the new fridge. I say that only because Mercury is also the trickster of the zodiac, and when he gets together with Jupiter, boy, oh boy, sometimes we have some unexpected expenses that we just did not see coming, and then we're left, oy vey, why did I spend all that money on this when I needed it for that, but I didn't see it coming? But again, I will repeat, it is sometimes a very positive aspect that can bring a good luck your way, a new job, more hours, some sort of opportunity that really could work out very well for you. I hope that it does. Now, there is the last little bit of Mars in Taurus. It is trining Pluto while doing so until Tuesday. So it may be a good time for you to establish some, or you should have last week or in the early part of this week, to establish some new beginnings. So again, perhaps if it's a new job or new work hours or just new duties in your job, that's great. But on Thursday, Mars is going to go into the sign of Gemini. And for you, that puts Mars in a place that helps you figure out what you hope for and dream of for the future, and then begin to go after it. So that's a good thing. Also, you may find your social life can expand in this week as well, since there's a little bit of socialization in the 11th house as well. And when Mars travels through there, you tend to feel like being more sociable. And that could be part of, in your local area, restrictions may be lifting due to COVID, if indeed you had them. With Jupiter in Aquarius, aside from the conjunction to Mercury, it's also trining the moon's north node. So you probably will be feeling a lot better this week, Leo. I certainly hope so. I know there have been a lot of crises that have come up for some Leos, and this aspect really does help defray that, or even they get settled and you can move on to some more positive situations. But very likely there is some good karma coming your way as well. You know, we all put out good karma. Sometimes we put out bad karma. But this week, hopefully, the good karma will come back to roost on your doorstep and bring you some good news. With Uranus and Taurus still squaring that Saturn in Aquarius, might be making a T-square in your chart. I don't know, because everybody's horoscope is unique. And if that's the case, well, there could still be some conflict or confrontation or just some trouble that you still need to resolve. In that case, all I can do is recommend is keep at it. You can't escape responsibility. You may try at times, but you really do need to attend to what you need to, because frankly, usually no one else is going to do it for you. Now, normally Leo is very independent and they're quite good at taking care of themselves. But sometimes, well, let's put it this way. When Leo gets hurt, boy, they sure let everybody know about it. But really, you have to get aside from that and just attend to the issues eventually. And this week is a very good week for you to say, all right, enough with whatever's been going on with me. I'm going to fix it. So this is a good week for you to begin to do that. And even when Mars moves into Gemini, that will help redouble your efforts to take better care of yourself, I hope. With Chiron and Aries helping you explore healing, that's a great aspect. With Neptune in Pisces only aspecting the moon this week off and on in different types of aspects, may or may not affect you as deeply, but Neptune in Pisces does form a quincunx to the sign of Leo, which is an unusual aspect where we're required to sacrifice something of ourselves, or perhaps sacrifice an attitude or material thing even at times. But when we do that, the other side of the quincunx tends to be the reward. For example, if you put aside a very self-defeatist attitude and you start to feel more confident within yourself, well, just that change of attitude often is very noticeable to people, and they start to want to help you because you're just being more positive. I mean, of course, people like to help when things aren't so positive, but if it's just the same thing over and over and you're not doing anything to fix it, you probably won't get too much help from other people to do so. So do fall back on your very independent and very capable energy and spirit, Leo, and make sure you take better care of yourself this week if indeed you have not been. So good luck.